Yeah, let's keep it going for the Shabbat.
Good.
Or
Good.
as my man Shabba Ranks would say, Shabbat. Oh
Indeed,
man.
indeed, bro. Indeed, man.
Hey man, it's a beautiful frequency,
God.
bro. Hey, it's a lot going on, brother. You know what I'm saying? Everybody Drop Nation, you already know what's going on. This is Silas Nehemiah, King Drop. This is 432 The Drop Radio, and this is what we do every Thursday. We started dropping in a little earlier to bring in that flat drop, and there's nothing I don't think out there better to bring in this particular topic of flat drop tonight than that Stanley Kubrick video. I don't know if you got a chance to catch it, bro.
No, I didn't. I heard about it, because they apparently used some studios, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was an interview.
Yeah.
I don't know who
And,
the interviewer is, but it apparently is a video filmed before Kubrick's, passing. There were instructions
hmm
apparently to release the video 15 years after his death, and now I guess this is that particular point, and it's been released. People are already trying to debunk this thing, say it's not him. I'll just say it like this: if it's
hmm
not, this is one of the coldest actors of all time. This is probably the coldest actor of all time. If this is not Kubrick, it was so authentic,
Right.
so authentic, and he's just straight out saying it. Like, look, I was hired to do this. I filmed all the moon landings. It's been weighing on my conscience.
hmm
I know that Neil Armstrong has taken it the hardest, and he has kind of brought me into understanding of, you know, the fallacy of this thing. But he also says that he is conflicted, to where he also sees this faked moon landing. He said no one went to the moon. He said even Warner von Braun was the smartest guy in the room, and he told the government you can't go to the moon. He says von Braun, the smartest NASA guy, told the government they couldn't go, and everybody else is optimistic. And he said, "Hey, you know, I want this off my conscience. I want to release this." He said, "This was my masterpiece, though, and I could never really talk to Siskel and Ebert about it. This was better than 2001: A
Right.
Space Odyssey. It's better than all his,
hmm
classics. He was, naming out Clockwork Orange, all these classics. But he said this is his best masterpiece was the filming of the moon landing. I mean, how does that strike you? Is this in the realm of a believable thing, or do you think this could be a hoax?"
Well, of course, I definitely believe um, that it was fake, and I when you think about the fact that Mr. Kubrick wanted this released at a certain time, and when because you can tell when something is sincere versus when it's fabricated.
Hmm.
Sincerity comes out, excuse me, naturally. The fabricated comes out like it's scripted.
Right.
And him being a producer, I mean, of course he knows scripts and things of that nature, but to put something out there that big, what would be his purpose other than it being on his conscience and wanting to get it off of his conscience, because he knew that something he did affected mankind, so to speak, from that point on. It's not like he's one of the four guys that supposedly went to the moon or one of the 20 people on the space station. This is the guy who was responsible for putting this information out to the world that we've done something that they said man couldn't do and would never do. So that has an impact on the whole society. I mean, look at the impact it's had from, the financial aspect of it, as far as space exploration and, going to, well, we didn't go back to the moon, but now, going to Mars and, the Milky Way and the fake satellites and all of that. So all of this, in a sense, kind of rests on what he provided us with.
Right.
So
So much.
I believe what he says to be true, because to have a burden like that, man, on
Wow.
it's like it had to be hard for him, in the end. And in the beginning, it probably wasn't so hard because you're going along with the flow. You know, you're in the movie business, you know, and you and I both, you know, being out here, we know about the industry and how that can be. But I believe what he says to be, I believe it to be valid, man. I definitely have to see that video. But just from what I heard you say, you know, those aren't things that someone would say if they were just trying to conjure up a lie or fabricate some information or dismiss something.
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't make sense.
You got to follow your spirit. You got to follow your ruach. You know what I mean? When you look into his eyes and he's just dropping like, look, you know, I'm getting this out. Sidebar, you can tell he's being coached a little bit by the interviewer, whoever it is. It kind of sounds like a Tarantino type of dude, but I can't tell who's interviewing him. But you know, you can tell he's being coached. But especially towards the end, I believe he asked the interviewer back like, okay, what do you want me to say about this, or you know, something to that effect. And the interviewer straight up coached him and said, don't say that you filmed Apollo 12, just claim 11 and 13 and say that Neil was involved. And then they just redid it again and it wasn't cut. They just kept going. So it was definitely a scripted situation. However, in my understanding, in my opinion, it was more of a damage control type of scripted thing, you know, to where he didn't want to.
Right.
It's like he was giving out his basic confession, but he didn't want to drop everything. I feel like there was so much more that he was being sort of limited or sort of kept into still some type of limitation.
Like it struck a nerve.
Oh, yeah. You can see something is eating at these guys. You know, something is in their core to where just asking about it or talking about it or insinuating, truth out these guys, it starts to boil inside of them. You see like a spirit wrestling inside of them, especially when you are watching this particular thing. So All Drop Nation, go check it out. It's everywhere, but we're going to, definitely drop it at 432 to drop. Just type in Stanley Kubrick confesses fake moon landings. You can definitely check out a link to zengardner.com. They actually have a transcript of the interview. They're saying that the filmmaker that interviewed Kubrick is T. Patrick Murray. And here's a little bit of it, just right quick. All right, so the interviewer says, why are you giving this interview? Kubrick says, because it started to get to me after a while. Well, this is difficult because it is the first time I've talked about it. The interviewer says, sure, take all the time you need. Kubrick says, I've always been conflicted by it, but it's not consciously until years later. I was just blown away by the chance, the opportunity, the challenge of making this production. I went into this like it was a regular film, like another regular film of mine, not thinking too much about the long-term effects of what it would mean to society if it were ever discovered. And the interviewer says, what are you talking about? I'm dying to know what you're talking about. And Kubrick says, well, a confession of sorts, a movie I made that nobody is aware of, even though they've seen it. That's all I'm going to give you. You know what I'm saying? But check it out. We'll leave the link. I'll definitely link all this stuff on the site, 432todrop.com. And either way, we already know that these people are, full of crap. But to get these type of things leaked out there, it's like, what are they trying to condition us for? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they trying to set up here? Everything's a setup. It's an alley-oop, Okay, so NASA's fake. All right, so what does that mean? Okay, well, they're leading into something. They're stripping our trust away from them on purpose so that we can, be in this anarchist type of state of mind, and they can implement exactly what the drop topic is today, which is, not only a continuation of the refugees, but the domestic terror alert and false flags. And of course, we got that brother Silas Nehemiah, man, always on time. You already know, man.
432thedrop.com.
This is your daily drop.
Yeah.